Hi, welcome back to Desi Aroma again. Today is Super Bowl Sunday and I wanted to do something, of course, as a snack for the whole family. So we did a macaroni and cheese with minced chicken. Now this is a little unusual dip, but it comes out great. It tastes very nice. So you all have to try this and see what you think about that. Okay, I'm going to use a pound of elbow macaroni. Now these are the thin kind of elbow macaroni. I've got my water already on high, and it's as soon as it comes to a boil, I'm going to add a little salt and then add this macaroni for boiling. Okay, this is a pound of ground chicken, and what I've done is I've added about a teaspoon, actually a little less than a teaspoon of salt in it. I would say half a teaspoon would actually really do, and a little bit of lal mirchi, the cayenne pepper, about half a teaspoon of that, and then I also put about half a teaspoon of white pepper. So this were all put in, and some oil, and now I'm frying this, I'm browning this up. Once this is brown, this will be ready for my macaroni dish. Okay, you can all see my minced chicken is nicely brown. So once I have it at this level, I'm going to just put it in a strainer and just drain all my oil out of it, which I used about a tablespoon of oil so it doesn't stick to this. So I'm going to just put it in a strainer and strain off all the oil out of it. Okay, so these are the fresh vegetables I'm going to use. I've got one yellow bell pepper, about 5 cloves of garlic, 1 green chili, and half onion. I'm going to use some olive oil in this. Let's add some olive oil for the taste. This is about a tablespoon and a half of olive oil. The very first thing I'm going to drop in this would be the garlic. I need the garlic to be sauteed first before anything else goes in there. So garlic goes in there. Now of course your green chilies is more like an Indian touch, because we Indian like all our things hot, so that's more like an Indian touch. But if you want to skip that, go ahead and do that. But this is going to make it real nice. So what you're doing is you're frying your garlic a little bit, but don't let it brown. So just fry it till it loses its raw taste, but it's still, and I'm going to add my green chilies. Okay, saute those a little with that, and then in goes my onion. And onion will be sauteed with this. Now what I'm looking for is just to loosen up the onion a little bit. As soon as the onion starts sweating, becomes a little translucent, this is when you're going to add your bell pepper to it. So this is the mixture which is going to go with our macaroni and cheese. So as you can see now, it took like maybe half a minute and my onions are already translucent. So once they are done, I'm going to add my orange or yellow pepper to it. Saute this a little bit, and I'm going to just go ahead and add my minced chicken, which was in a strainer and all the oil has been taken out of it, and just go ahead and mix this up. Saute this for about a minute, and that's all it needs, just 1 minute. Okay, so all the things are ready. Now, additional to what you all saw, I need to point out something. The macaroni needs to have come out al dente. That means half boiled or 3/4 boiled. It should not be completely done because it's going to go in the oven and that will make it further. Now what I'm going to do is all this has to be mixed up. Additional to that, this is cheddar cheese sauce. So this is melted cheddar cheese. In the US we get here very freely, but of course, you know, if you're not in the US, maybe you can get some cheddar cheese and melt it and then put it in. And these are Olive Garden's seasoned croutons, which we use for salads. They are bread pieces, dried bread pieces, so you can of course do that at the house too. So all this now is going to go in there. I'm going to start with adding my macaroni in there. So I'm going to add half of my macaroni first. I'm going to put in half of my mixture here in it. Now why I'm doing this is just so it mixes up pretty nicely. Then I'm going to throw a handful of croutons in it. So a handful of those. And then I'm going to put a few dabs of the cheese. Now the croutons are also going to provide us that stiffness or the crunchiness we are looking in there. It tastes real good. You have to give that a try. So I've done this. I'm going to mix this a little so it kind of all mixes up before I add the other half of that. So just a mix. Okay, all that is mixed. Now I'm going to add the rest of my macaroni in there. The rest of my macaroni will go in there. Okay, and the mixture. So I put all the mixture in. Again, a handful of croutons again. So I'll just take a handful. Of course, if you have smaller hands, feel free to do 2 handfuls. Let me just do a handful and a half anyway. And then again, a lot of this cheese. So I have put a lot of cheese in here. I'm going to just mix that. And I'm going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. And it should be all done. Okay, my oven is hot. It just beeped at 350 degrees. This is going to go on the low shelf of my oven. Of course, my dog, he's ready to have some macaroni and cheese too. So okay, here it is. And it's the lower rack which I'm going to put this on. Again, about 20 to 25 minutes is all it needs. Once the cheese is all bubbled up and it's all settled, we'll take it out and let it set for a little bit and it's ready to eat. This took about 30 minutes in the oven. I checked it at about 20 minutes and it wasn't done, so I left it for another 10 minutes. You can see how the cheese is bubbling. You can look at the cheese bubbling on it and it's formed a nice crust. So this is ready for settling down a little bit. Once it cools a little bit, this can be served, and of course the game's already started, so this will be enjoyed soon with the game. Now this is my version of something I thought would be great for the game. So I don't know what to call this this end product. So we will call this Super Bowl Macaroni and Cheese. So let's stay with that. Thanks again for watching my show.